everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Connected Body Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. It is my daughter, Kayla. So, hi, Kayla. I'm super excited to have her here. This is going to be a really great interview, and we're going to change it up a little. Kayla is going to start by leading the interview. So, help me welcome Kayla and take it away.
I'm so excited to be here. We were just talking beforehand about so many insights and really about divine timing of how we got to be right here, right now, how your journey in fitness and wellness and embodiment has led you to this moment, but also my childhood watching you go through that and how every point has led me to here. And it's been so beautiful. We've already cried some tears talking about how we just feel so divinely led and supported to be right here. And
Yes.
it truly is our path and our mission to bring together these two generations of knowledge and wisdom and learning and bring it together to lead other women to bring them back to their own light by lending out ours together.
Yeah, beautifully said, Kayla. And I sometimes I wish we could actually film what we talk about before we start a podcast interview, because it's always like, oh my gosh, we should be filming that. But yes, to sum that up, both of us, we've been on these journeys, and we didn't know that the journeys were going to lead us, like you said, to this moment right here, and with such a divine purpose, and to share with other women. What we've been learning and doing our entire lives. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Super
Yeah.
excited.
We'll get to eventually how we came to this culmination moment and that kind of like aha moment because it really is quite divine how it happened
Yeah.
in such an interesting place. So I can't wait to talk about that. But what I do want to start off with is talking about a little bit more so your journey and fitness in the 2000s, wellness,
Hmm.
and into more like embodied somatic movement and wellness where you are now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were talking about before in our earlier conversation belonging in community, what it looked like back then in the early 2000s versus what it is now, and being
Yeah.
able to look at it through your lens, my lens, and where the world is headed, and really start to have a foundation, an understanding of how we're kind of shifting back into the old ways of connection and belonging. So I
Yeah.
want to ask you, what it was like back then to do this work before the wellness industry really existed, and what was your original intention behind everything you've eventually created?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question, and a huge question, because if people know my story, and for those who don't, like I had three kids, young children. I was feeling a little lost, not feeling good about myself, and I thought, oh, I want to, get in shape. I saw all those before and after photos. I had never played a sport growing up. I'm like, I'm going to do that. So I set my intention, joined the gym, and that's kind of how this whole thing started going, just me wanting to get myself feeling better and in shape. And during that time frame, it was all about, working really hard and muscles, and I felt a little bit by myself because I didn't have a community. And I started um, getting into this fitness competition. Someone in my gym I recognized at that time from Oxygen magazine, and she's like, oh, you could do this. I'm like, no, I've got three left feet. And it went from there. And someone said, oh, you should, vlog your training. I'm like, what does vlog mean? Like, I had no clue. YouTube was like a baby. They're like, yeah, why don't you film it and put it on YouTube? I'm like, okay. So I did. I think one of my first videos, and I put it out there, and it was like putting something into space. I'm like, how are people going to find it? How do they know? And they kept finding it, and they kept coming back, and I kept making more. And then I grew this community around me, this beautiful community of other women who wanted to get in shape and wanted to feel better about themselves. And they would reach out to me from all over the world. And it was like,
Mhm.
wow, I was having this impact. And we talked about this too. I wasn't trying to be a fitness superstar. I wasn't doing any, I was just being myself, filming videos and having a good time and putting them out there. Like that's pretty much how my journey started. And
Mm.
we talked about that by being in my flow, just
Yeah.
being me. I'd have a video and I'd have two different sneakers on, and be like, does this happen to you?
Yeah, you were just so yourself, and I think that's what was so magnetic because, and we'll talk about this in a moment, the difference in content curation then versus now, and
Yeah.
just like the house could be a mess behind you, the dog walking through, but the community was able to so deeply relate to that, and it was like you were watching your favorite person on TV, and you just have this personality that inspires so many people and just makes people feel so seen and felt, like no matter who they are, where they are. And we were talking about this before, and this is the next question I'll ask because you already kind of answered it. But defining what connection and belonging meant to you in the early 2000s versus what it means today and how you created that. And that moment that we just had before this of you saying you didn't really know, but now we deconstructed it.
Yeah. So I guess how to answer that would be that I didn't know that I was so much just in my flow at that time. And when we work in our flow and we're really enjoying what we're doing and we're doing it out of passion and love, things start coming to you naturally versus there got to be a point in my career where I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I was started comparing myself to other people and oh my gosh, their videos are perfect and they've got a timer and they're doing all these things and here I am still doing it how I originally did it, moving the dining room furniture away, setting up my camera and videotaping. So it got to be stressful and not fun anymore, and I started to come out of my flow and I didn't really even realize it, but I knew I wasn't feeling like myself anymore, trying to force something instead of just being natural. And I think now with social media, there's so much, everything's really quick, quick, quick. These well, not sound bites, but little reels and do. People are wanting that connection again. We've been through such hard times with COVID and all that people are missing that true connection and feeling connected.
You think that your sense of flow back then in the early 2000s is just what attracted people to you and created this community because you had a a community across every platform. You had women reaching out to you from countries you've never heard of, and you had also this in-person community that, like, we'd be in the grocery store and people like, oh my gosh, you're Laura London. Like, I grew up feeling like in middle school and high school my mom was like famous, and like people knew Laura London, people knew that that was my mom, but it wasn't because she had these jacked biceps or because she was turning into a fitness model. It was because she had this community that so many people talked about in the community, that they wanted to be a part of your events, they wanted to be just in your energy. And do you think that it really is just because you were in that flow and creating from your heart is what created that community?
Yeah, yeah. Like when the people would reach out to me, I didn't have an assistant. Everything you see and you still see, it's pretty much just me, myself, and Laura London. But if you wrote to me, I wrote back to you. Like I just felt this deep connection. You could be, a million miles away, but it brought so much to me to help people, and it just was, it was a back and forth. It wasn't just about me giving. They were giving so much to me too. And when people would reach out to me and share their story of transformation, or I always say, you never know how you can affect someone
Mm.
else's life just by a kind word, a smile. So if someone watched a video and it inspired them, or, and I really truly love the internet. And another thing about the internet being back then, it gave me the ability to be at home with my children, which was always my goal in life, was to have a family. Like, that's all I truly wanted. So being able to take the kids to school, pick them up, yeah, I might have been with the false eyelashes and whatever, but it was really fun. And that was my main, my main goal was to have my family.
Mhm. Yeah, it was so beautiful to watch, and it really, I truly believed, shaped who I am. Watching that in my childhood and seeing you pour into yourself so much while also taking care of a family, while also building this community and hosting events. Like, I remember when I was in high school and helping you feed the goodie bags for the events that you were hosting, and all these women coming around, and like the glimmers in their eyes by being like, Laura, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm standing here today. And
Yeah.
truly, like, that is, it's in my body, the way that I've been able to watch you lead from love and passion and purpose. And I feel so blessed to have you as my mom and to have had such a beautiful, loving childhood that has brought me exactly to where I am right now.
Yeah, she's on fire. She's on fire. Well, thank you. Thank you. Because that truly, means the world that I've been able to stay with the family and
Mhm.
be a role model. And yeah, I mean, never ever did I plan on any of this, guys. Never in my wildest dreams. So, yeah, you
Oh,
never know. You never know what you can accomplish until that was always stepping out of your comfort zone, getting a little uncomfortable because
yeah,
it's okay. And when you do that and you shine your light, you allow others to really shine their light. I know that can be a cliche, but it's just so true.
it
So
is
true.
true. And one of my favorite sayings from a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation that I really use as my guidepost is to give the gift of life to others, because
Mhm.
I feel, like I said, so blessed to have lived a life where I had two loving parents and siblings and family that was around me, that supported me in whatever it is that I wanted to do. And I feel that the universe has gifted me these gifts to give the gift of life to others, to go through the things that I've gone through, not just to learn it, but to then share it with other people. And I feel it's just such, it's the biggest blessing, and I never would have known it going through seeing you do all of these things and try on all of these outfits sent from companies and watching you record videos, that I would almost nearly end up feeling exactly like you in my late 20s.
Well, okay, enough about me because I really want to touch on you now because you have been on your own journey, this
Mhm.
path, and I want our listeners to know you, where you've been, and where you are now, and how
Yeah.
we got here today.
Yeah. So, as I said, like, my childhood really shaped everything I am today. And I was just journaling and writing a blog post about how there was a moment after I had my spiritual awakening that I answered a question that was super important and changed so much of my life. And it was, where do you feel the most alive, and why do you feel that way? And going back to more of my spiritual awakening and how I came to understand that, I was a sophomore in college, and I went to a school where I didn't know anyone, but you went there. I went there, alumni, and I was surrounded by people who at the time I thought were my people. And I came to this moment of inner knowing that they weren't my people, that it wasn't, my time here was not meant to be as long as it already was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this moment in my college apartment with tears down my eyes, just saying, like, universe, like, help me. Like, I need to get out. And the universe came through in many ways that I would have never expected. And one of them that truly is the best memory I think to date that I'll always have is of that spiritual awakening and going on a yoga teacher training retreat with you in Costa Rica. And we're so funny because just like in my Pilates training, we were not actively yogis like every single day through and through, but when we have a calling on our heart and the desire to do something, we
Mm-hmm.
go for it, and we
Yeah.
just totally went for it and had no expectations of what was this journey going to culminate to and to everything right now. And going on this yoga teacher training as a 19-year-old, being the youngest person there, being surrounded by people from all over the world, and for the first time in a long time, having this sense of love and belonging, even though we were all so vastly different,
Mm-hmm.
was so beautiful that it truly transformed every part of me. That I then went back to college and I could not be there another second. I knew that my life was shifting, and at the time it felt so painful, but I knew that through the discomfort it was shifting for the better.
Yeah.
And that experience has been my north star, my guiding light to where we are, because being with different people and getting out of my day-to-day routine,
Mm-hmm.
not having my phone on me, starting to learn about my inner awareness and how the thoughts that I think create my reality.
Yeah.
And it just totally opened me up to going inward and going deeper. And through the rest of my college career, I felt like an outlier. I wasn't wanting to go out and party. I wasn't wanting to go with what the rest of the kids my age were doing.
Right.
But I knew so deeply in my heart that I experienced all of that for a greater purpose. And that greater purpose has been playing out over the past 6 years since that journey. And I could not be more grateful.
Yeah. That, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. That trip to Costa Rica with that yoga teacher training was life changing for the both of us. And that really is, it's not the start because it started in the beginning, but it just made such a shift. And what we're going to talk about it, but we know that when you get a group of people, women together, magic happens. And really that may sum up that retreat for us, that it was just so powerful, being with people, being connected. I know you being so young and being there, you were a little afraid. You were like, oh my gosh, I don't know yoga. I don't know anyone. I'm going to be the youngest person there. Like, don't worry
Mhm.
about it. It'll be fine. Because in my heart, I'm like, oh no, they're just going to eat you up and surround you with love. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And we're going to shout out to Marianne Wells here because it
Yes.
was her yoga teacher training retreat.
Yeah.
So thank you, Marianne. Um, and it just changed, as you can see, it really changed both of our lives. So Kayla,
Mhm.
keep going. So now you're at
Mhm.
college, you're like,
Mhm.
I can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
What happened
So
next?
I eventually left and found a place to live, a place to go to school that was much more in alignment with who I was. And then time goes on, and I never found this community or this sense of belonging because, like I said, I felt like an outlier. I was interested in personal development and spirituality, and was just starting to get into Melissa Ambrosini and Gabby Bernstein, and that was not what most kids my age as a junior or senior in college were into. But this is when you also started to get a lot more into like the metaphysical world and the alternative medicine, and how your wellness and fitness journey took a little bit more of a pivot.
Yeah.
And I graduated during COVID, and then I got a full-time job during COVID. And going back to that question of where I felt most alive, I was at such a low point that I thought I was where I wanted to be my whole life. I thought I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I had every intention and every ounce of faith in myself that I could do that, because I know I can do anything I put my heart to, but if my heart is not in it, I just simply can't put my energy towards it.
Right.
I'm
Right.
a generator in human design, which means I am lit up by things that bring me joy, and it was no longer bringing me joy. So I met with a good friend of ours who's a life coach, and she asked me this question, and I started to recognize where I felt most alive, where I felt like I had this sense of belonging and community. And it was when I was in theater, and I was most like my childlike self. I was constantly certain about who I was because I was so passionate that no matter the imposter syndrome or the comparison, I knew that the gifts were quite literally flowing out of me, and the
Mhm.
opportunities came to me like they were magnetic, like similar to how you were in your flow. And I feel
Mhm.
we go through flow in so many different parts of our lives. It's
Yes.
not constant, it is a work in progress. But I was so in flow in that time because it it just truly was from the heart.
Yeah.
And I recalled that experience, and then later connected that into maybe I could become a Pilates instructor because I see all of those qualities in my Pilates instructor. She's charismatic, she's confident, she's so certain in herself, and it's like her own performance stage. And that's what I went on to do. I went on to get my Pilates teacher training. I quit my full-time job, and I'm here now and creating so many different things from the heart. And one of my biggest aspirations is to create experiences for other women to go on a similar journey
Mhm.
of, no matter where they're at, beginning to learn more about themselves, about their mindset, and how that creates their reality, how collective community is
Yeah.
truly healing, and how, just like how you'd read a book at one point in your life, it resonates, and then the next time you read it, it resonates deeper and deeper.
Yes.
And I feel both you and I are experiencing that. And I want to bring in our experience of how we went to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and
Mhm.
how even further that level of love and connected community and healing like deeply transformed us. And I just know that that is what is coming for us on our retreat together.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've been on quite a journey, both of us, as for sure. Um, I know going to Dr. Joe, poor Kayla, she would come home for college, her breaks, and her dad and I'd be meditating with these eye masks on. I'd be in the garage with my sound bowl. She never knew what was going to hit her when she came home. One time I had my husband floating in the pool on a pool noodle with sound bowls in the pool. Uh, but she always went with it. Sometimes she was like, Mom, but she did. Um, so I'm just going to share kind of how we have already ran a 1 day wellness retreat
Mm.
together, which was amazing. It was the Awaken to Wellness retreat, but it started this idea. I was at an event with my husband, and it was at a convention center, and I walked past this picture of a mother and daughter, and they were like back to back, and they had this photo, and I took a picture of it, not knowing why. I just thought it was so cute. And on the way home, I'm like, oh my goodness, Kayla and we could do retreats together. Like we could bring all this knowledge, this wisdom, this sense of community. So I discussed it with her, and it was just like, yeah, that's what all this has been leading up to.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So we have a retreat coming up.
And you want to talk about your Dr. Joe experience as well, and
Oh, my
going back
doctor.
to that question and how that level of love and community and healing
Yeah.
just like tenfold from what we
Yeah.
experienced in Costa Rica, and how like when you, no matter if you're in my age group, in your age group, how you can be with people from all ages, from all
Yes.
cultures and communities, and go for one shared purpose, and how much transformation can come from that. And that's truly what our our desire in sharing like our stories and our experiences is, to show you just what could be for yourself
Yeah.
on the retreat as well.
Yeah, yeah. The Dr. Joe experience uh, has been profound for me. I definitely life changing. Actually, I had my back that was not working. I had a fracture in my vertebrae, which stopped me from doing all my videos and just really put me in a downward spiral. I haven't talked about that a lot. Out loud to other people. But I went and had a profound experience. My back is fine. I can jump rope now. But it was that connection of being there in this group of people for one sole purpose, and the love that you felt for people you didn't even know, but you just would look at them, look in their eyes, and it was just truly a magical experience. And Dr. Joe bases everything on science. So, like, science is catching up to the spirituality. And it is just an amazing time. And that's a feeling that we are bringing to our retreats, that
Yeah.
you can be with a group of people. It can be teenagers. My mom came to our first retreat. She's in her 80s, right? And she
Yeah.
had a fabulous time. So it's this beautiful mix of people and different experiences coming together for one purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember our first retreat, and like my best friend of so many years came. We had women who we had never met before. And you truly don't know what is going to come up in this space.
Yeah.
And you learn this this love, this sense of belonging, this sense of connection that is so missing from our culture these days. And I think that's really why I wanted to highlight what it was like in the 2000s versus what it is now, because
Yeah.
every time we host a retreat, or I host an event, you host an event, the energy that is around these women together is something that only happens in these spaces, and it quite literally transcends you further each time. Since Dr. Joe, it's almost been a year since we both went to Dr. Joe Dispenza together. That was another pivotal, life
Yeah.
changing moment for me that helped me really understand that at the heart of everything is love and service. And
Yeah.
one of my favorite quotes from a book that I'm reading called The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown is that she talks about when authenticity threats belonging. So being your own self is threatened by belonging. Our human nature instinct is always choose belonging.
Mm-hmm.
And so much in this culture and this era we're in right now has been of conforming, of yes, I'm in Pilates and I wear activewear all the time and I like to wear cute matching sets, but to the point where like our culture has made it like this is what's trending. You have to be this identity, you have to be this version. And I think watching you growing up and being so authentic, like you said, you could have two wrong colored shoes on. I've seen you before walking in the grocery store that way. And really starting to understand that the community is awakening, that there's a
Hmm.
desire for more. There's a
Yep.
desire for more depth and connection and community that
Yes.
this era of COVID is finally just drifting and melting off. And you're seeing all the trends, the styles of the 2000s come back into life, but you're also, if you're conscious of it enough or not, which is okay, starting to see that people are in desire for longer form content, for
Yes.
deeper understanding, for less short clips and just how to make money fast and hacks.
Yeah.
And people are truly starting to look for where they can be their most authentic self and
Yeah.
also belong and not just have to choose belonging over authenticity. And I think what's so beautiful about the two of us is that you constantly remind me of that authenticity and that I can be my authentic self and belong so deeply to myself, to the community, to where I want to go in life.
Hmm.
And yeah, on a little tangent, but I just think that that was so important to highlight.
Yeah.
And it is a true guiding light of why we want to create this space for other women to be able to see their own light, to be in their authentic selves, to understand what that even means, what that even looks like.
Yeah, and one of the terms that we use for in this retreat is, connecting back to yourself. It's not about, you're not coming for a transformation. You're reconnecting to who you are, because I think a lot of times as women, there's so many demands on us, right? If no matter what age, it's work, it's family, it's getting dinner on the table, it's everything that goes along with being a woman. And we kind of lose ourselves along that journey. And it happens slowly and you don't realize it, right? And being able to come to a retreat like this and reconnecting back to yourself and remembering who you are, remembering what you used to love to do, it's so profound. I remember there was a time in my life where the only time I could get a second to myself was if I closed the door in the bathroom. Like that was it. And even then, I remember someone flipping the door open and going, "Mom, there's a phone call for you." I'm like, "I'm naked." Just give me a second, right? So this is a time to like just come back to you, which
Yeah.
is so important.
I think you put it so beautifully. It's not that we're creating this new transformation and this new self. We're guiding you back to the remembered version,
Yeah.
the most loved and supported version of yourself, and looking at how we can create joy internally,
Hmm.
not just externally. And
Yeah.
a lot of my work and my personal journey and work and relating it to Pilates has been internal validation, internal joy, being the own source of my own joy. Because
Yeah.
for so long I wasn't. And I had experiences that kept on recurring in my life that were challenging me to be the own source of love and joy in my life. And
Hmm.
when I finally came to understand those principles, when I came to that remembered version of myself who I truly deeply loved, everything else in my life flowed and came in. And I truly believe that it takes taking yourself out of your environment
Yes.
to be in this container, to re-remember the vessel of who you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
to understand that joy long, true, lasting joy comes from connection to yourself, love and connection from other people. That joy isn't just created by having a drink and laughing, but like the deep
Right.
belly laughs that you cannot contain, the
Yeah.
excitement that you have by seeing such beautiful sceneries, to being in an environment where you're like, I can't believe I said yes to myself to be here right now. And I am so grateful for that version of me who
Yes.
chose to recognize that I am ready for more.
I love that. Isn't she amazing, guys? She always, I learn from her every day. She's so amazing. Not just because she's my daughter, but because she just radiates what she has learned and what she's gone through. So yeah, so Kayla, why don't you tell everybody about the retreat, when it is, where
Yeah.
it is, because we would so much love for you guys to join us.
Yeah. If you're craving connection with yourself or with other women, or just going on this remembrance journey together, we want you to join us in Tulum next March 5th through the 9th, 2026. It's 5 days, 4 nights at Amansala Beach Resort. It is such a beautiful space. I've had other dear friends host there, and the energy that comes off of the pictures that they've shared is truly magical, and there's so much to experience while we'll be there. And we're, like we said, combining our whys, our generations of movement, of embodiment, of somatic tools and healing, because I am not just the movement expert. Like, I have learned so much from you. So to be able to experience both of our energies that are
Yeah.
similar but also vastly different. And I'm so excited to lead Pilates and yoga and EFT tapping, and talk about what self-compassion means, what it means to remember the version of you that is hiding but waiting to break out, and for you to talk and share about all of the things you've done, the books you've written, the podcasts you've hosted, and go ahead and share your version of, through your lens, the retreat in
The
Tulum.
retreat. Yeah. Well, like I said in the beginning, I know that whenever you get women together in a space like this, that when they're disconnected, the magic happens. And I'll be sharing, my healthy eating. I'll be doing some movement. We're going to have I do sound healing, but we're going to be experiencing a traditional Mayan sound healing there with a cacao ceremony. One day we're going to be on the beach and we're going to have this beautiful ceremony with the healing um, mud all over our bodies. There's so many other experiences that we'll be doing together. But
Mhm.
most important, it's the time that we're going to be spending together and really feeling supported by each other. That's what excites me so much.
Mhm.
And I love to see the people. There'll be tears, there'll be laughter. You're going to make friends for a lifetime, because it happens on every retreat I've ever been on. I
Mhm.
collect people along the way.
That's the
Yeah.
craziest part, is that 6 years ago, we spent 2 weeks in Costa Rica with this group of people we had never met. Yet I could reach out to one of them right now
Yeah.
and they would invite me into their home, and we go right back to that period of time. And the same with Dr. Joe Dispenza. Like, the
Yeah.
people that I met in my age group, like, I could text them right now and we could have this whole beautiful conversation. And I was laughing when you were saying that there are going to be tears and laughter and joy, because we're doing a salsa dancing class and a cooking class. And I'm like, I'm so excited for this version of me to attend that, because the old version of me would have been so like, oh, I can't dance in front of people. Oh, I'm too nervous. But like, I quite literally can't wait for the laughter to transcend me into another dimension and
Yeah.
just create these beautiful healing, truly, truly healing experiences with other connected women. And I'm so excited for the women who are already signed up. And I have some of my dearest clients and friends who are coming from already knowing like our conversations and the things that we collectively are interested in. Like not only are you going to get stuff from us, you're also going to learn so much from the people who are
Oh my
attending, because
gosh. Yeah.
I have learned so much from my clients, from my friends,
Yeah.
from my mother, that have gotten me to where I am now.
Yeah. And to experience somebody else's growth and to watch it unfold right in front of you is so powerful and life changing. And that's truly what happens on these retreats.
Yeah.
You come away reconnected to yourself and just different and
So
better.
different. So like
That wholeness.
wholeness. So different. You come back, like still I feel this from Dr. Joe. A whole new outlook on life.
Yeah.
Truly, I feel. And so like not just at a mental level or physical level, but spiritual, like your physical cells in your body, like there's so much nourishment that happens, so much release and healing
Yeah.
and just pure joy. I truly cannot wait. Like my one of my deepest wishes is to do this, and be able to do it with you is the biggest honor and manifestation and blessing I think I'll have
Mm.
this far and possibly in my life, and I just can't wait.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I also want to tell everyone it's right on the beach.
Yeah.
So we are going to be soaking up the beautiful sun and the earth while you're there. I mean, you're just going to be magically transformed.
Mhm.
So, all right, Kayla, we're going to start wrapping this up. What do,
Yeah, I wanted to highlight just one question that I had someone ask
yeah,
me this past week, and they were like, "Can I join solo? Do I have to come with a person?" And I wanted to clarify that although we're a mother-daughter hosting the retreat, it is not solely a mother-daughter retreat.
right?
Although we'd love to have mother-daughter combos come and join us, it would be so beautiful to have different
Yeah.
generations there and experience similar to how we have in the past.
My mom
But
wants to come. She's 86.
I would that would be amazing. But yes, you can come solo. Coming solo is such a beautiful devotion to yourself.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're gonna meet so many different women. Really, the most solo part of the journey will be traveling there and traveling
Yeah.
home. We'll have a bus or a van pick up people at the airport in grouped times.
Yeah.
So really everything is handled and curated for you. There are add-ons of the spa and massages. And I told her, I was like, listen, we our intention is that if you join us, that you come to the scheduled events and we experience this as a group together. But if there's something on your heart that you're like, I'm in Tulum and I want to do this excursion the resort is hosting, or I want to go into town by myself,
Right.
that's something that's on your heart, you are more than welcome to have that time to do that.
Yeah.
And we will have sectioned off time for rest, whether you rest by the pool with the group, you go on a walk on the beach by yourself, you go in your room, take a nap, whatever it is, you will have time to
Yes.
experience and create your own journey as well on the retreat in those blocks.
Yeah.
But it is not a this is the schedule and that's it, you can't color
Right.
outside of the lines. We
Right.
want you to get the most from this experience, and what that means to you is going to be different from the person next to you.
Yeah. And that's very important because I have been on retreats where it's go, 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 go. And you're like, I never got any downtime.
Mm.
Yeah. I've also been on a retreat where I met someone in the airport who was going on the retreat and I didn't know them. And we are still to this day best friends.
Mm.
Like you just never know when the retreat is actually going to start. For me, it started
Yeah.
in the airport.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any last words, Kayla, to share?
No, I mean, no, but yes, I am
I
just
know.
so excited. I feel we could talk about this for hours and our journey, and I can't wait for the universe to bring to us the people that are meant to be here, because you and I
Yeah.
both work in a way where we don't put our hearts out there to market and sell. We put our hearts out there for the greater purpose of love and connection and wanting to support other women to see their own light and to
Mm-hmm.
experience the blessings that we have been so grateful to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Your words are beautiful. And yeah, so we're just going to invite you. If you are craving this kind of experience in your life, then please join us in Tulum in March, March 5th through the 9th. And we would just absolutely love to have you. We can't wait. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Connected Body podcast. So, again, thank you, Kayla, so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.